Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus.
What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 226. I'm your host as always. I'm Dan. I'm joined by my co-host as always. It is Samson. How you doing, good friend? Are you sick of VR and you want to play some flat screen in the big screen instead? Is that what you prefer?
Dan, I did get into a little bit of that, but was I wrong about the PlayStation VR 2? Was I wrong?
What about it?
Was I wrong?
What are you talking about? Why were you wrong?
Well, I've been enjoying myself, though. I've been enjoying myself. I'm just doing a bit here, Dan.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure if you've seen a few YouTube thumbnails.
Oh, fair.
People complaining about them.
Oh, I see. Has there been a lot of YouTube so far that's
funny.
like what is wrong or failure and all that stuff? Is that?
Oh, there's been a lot of accusations of the Meta ambassadors' NDAs being over, and now they can finally talk about the PlayStation VR 2.
I see.
It's been a ride.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't looked at any of that stuff. That's really interesting.
I did actually get into some PSVR 2 this week and enjoyed the hell out of it. But how have you been?
I've been well. It was fun for this episode, of experimenting to try different things of how you can utilize the VR headset. It's been very fun to do and got me playing my Quest in different ways as we get into. But I'm doing well. I'm excited to get into this show. We have a few comments to discuss, but just to let everyone know, thanks for joining us on LTO 226. Today, what we're going to do is essentially show you how to connect your flat screen devices to your Quest 3, or Quest 3S, to have a big screen experience, basically. And the reason why we came up with this topic is actually the Steam Frame is obviously right around the corner. Some point in the next few months, it will be out, hopefully. And one of the biggest selling points of it is you can play flat screen games natively inside it, and using your touch controllers, which have all the right buttons, but obviously playing it that way, you're going to have a giant screen, or however big you want the screen. I realized I don't want the screen absolutely giant, but I just want it close to my face, but a little bit bigger than an iPad or something. So you can kind of adjust, and it is one of the key features. Like for me personally, as a Quest 3 owner, why would I buy a Steam Frame this year when there's nothing at the moment to differentiate between the two in a big deal right now, as we know, right? Because the good things could change. So what are the other things that the Steam Frame can deliver that the Quest 3 can't? And one of them is playing flat screen games. However, the Quest 3 can do it natively, but not natively. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I do think the Quest 2 can handle a lot of what we're going to talk about today too.
Yeah, 100%. Everything that we talk about will work perfectly fine on a Quest 2 as well. It's just that, it's going to be I guess same with Quest 3S. Quest 3S does have color pass-through, right? Yeah, it does. So I guess it's just the black and white. But hey, that would be more akin to the Steam Frame. So I guess, with the black and white, it is. But anyway, that's what we're going to get into later, in this episode in part 1. But Samson, let's do some housekeeping as always.
Housekeeping.
We've got the Discord. Definitely come and join. We had a couple members join recently. We've had a few spam things recently, actually. So thank you.
Come on down. Except for the spam.
Shout out to Future Proof for being a new modder on the Discord and kind of getting rid of that. So we appreciate it. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes when we're asleep, Samson, on the East Coast, things come in.
That's what happens. That's what happened. Well, it's happened East Coast, but usually I'm on top of it and I immediately get rid of it. But this time happened amidst the evening, and there was nothing we could do. But now we got our European across the pond mod. Future Proof. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So join the Discord. There's a link in the description. Feel free to join that one. It's completely free. A lot of good community members in there. Also, shout out to Live Open Mike, who is now a writer for Upload VR on a more permanent basis. He was doing some freelance for them. And Live Open Mike, he's in there. Mike Johnson, as you'll see him in Upload VR, his professional name. When it comes to his articles, he's already got a few articles out, but shout out to Mike, who's been on the show countless number of times, obviously filled in as my, I guess, body double when it comes to the podcast, and help me when I've been away. So we'll have Mike on at some point again later this year for sure. But yeah, just congratulations to him. Congrats. Yeah, exactly. And it's great to see him on there. There's also, if you're into Walkabout, we have a Walkabout tournament happening every single week, where Healing Entree, friend of the show, and he's been doing this for a while now, but he basically posts 2 courses and you can go play them with other people or just on your own, submit scores to him, and you can see how you rank amongst everyone else in the Discord as well. And also we have Walkabout Thursdays and Sundays, which happen most of the time, but obviously sometimes not all the time, but most of the time. So definitely you can join us in there. But anyway, Samson, that's enough.
Yeah, Sundays will be picking back up in March. Though March 1st is not going to be a Walkabout Sunday, Dan. We've actually got 2 Iron Rebellion multiplayer sessions planned. So come on down to the Discord, and more details to follow.
Excellent.
Or just get the Discord details there.
Excellent stuff. Samson, people can write into the show. They can write in via Spotify comments, via YouTube comments. There's an episode discussion channel basically in Discord that you can use, or you could use the questions channel as well. I'll sometimes pull up some of the stuff that could be answered on the pod. Samson, we have 3 comments. A couple of them are just standard comments. One of them is a question, but do you want to say what the first comment is?
I'd love to. Also, for those who stay tuned, Iron Rebellion will be on March 1st at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Nice.
So thanks for that. From Bluebell, I've had the Quest Optimizer for a long time. I just never got around to installing it. The dev is great, and I'll be installing it today.
Yeah, we had the
the developer actually came on down to the Discord. So if you want to chat with the Quest Optimizer developer, come on down.
Yeah, I forget the handle, to be quite honest with you. I should have wrote this down, but if you go to the channel, which is Let's Talk Oculus Podcast YouTube, where basically we post the links to the YouTube version of this podcast, he messaged in there, so you can reply in there. And Samson, you bring it up.
And again, 79.
Say that again. And again, 79.
And again.
Oh, and again. Okay. And again, 79. Perfect. So thanks, Bluebell, for that comment. I hope you're enjoying the Quest Optimizer. I've been using it a little bit more, which we'll talk about in part 2. Forest of Odin also commented on the Games Optimizer, or the Quest Optimizer. He said the Game Optimizer, what a product. Took me a long time to finally try it out. Now I will never use my Quest without it. Even the home environment is so much sharper. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm exactly the same in your boat. Now it's always the first thing that I load into, just to check if a game does have a profile. And yeah, some games don't really need it. They do offer a little bit of shine, but it's not going to be a big deal. Some games absolutely shine with it on. So yeah, excellent stuff. People loving the Quest Game Optimizer, actually. A lot of comments in Discord about it too as well. So.
I mean, I use it now all the time for Walkabout, I guess. It just boots into it. And Forefront.
Yeah, absolutely. Samson, one more comment here. This is a question. Do you want to read this one out?
I'd love to. From Future Proof. Perhaps someone can help me with a conundrum. When it comes to what game or couple of games to decide to play to completion in VR or even flat screen, because I have so many options in my Steam library and on Quest 3 standalone that I've either only just started or haven't played at all, that I just feel the analysis paralysis of too many options. How do I choose? Any advice is welcome.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think a lot of us, if not all of us, relate to this problem. Samson, I was actually saying this to my partner the other day. I was like, I remember the time when, and I'm not sure if I said it on the podcast as well, but I remembered the time when I used to, like, for the Xbox, the original Xbox I had, I didn't have a PS2. I used to pick, like, I used to have quite a few games, but not like crazy, not like what we have now in our Steam libraries or our Quest or anything like that. I don't know, I'll have like 10, 15 games or something. But I'd always pick like 3 or 4 and then just do eeny, meeny, miny, mo with my eyes closed. And then just whatever I pick, I'm like, okay, I'm playing this one. And then I just go ahead and play it. And I don't even think like 10 minutes in, like, oh, did I make the right choice? It's a fear of, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a fear of better options, I think it is. A phobo fear.
The grass is always greener.
Something like that. Yeah, it's the kind of like Netflix problem where there's so many choice. You jump into one, 5-10 minutes in, you're like, actually, maybe there's something else that really tickles my brain, and then you go into the next one and so on and so forth. So I see this as a problem that Future Proof is having, and I appreciate the problem. I guess, Samson, the problem might be even worse for you when you're on your Steam library and you've got literally everything on there at this point. And you're like, what do I play?
I have a few options on all the platforms for sure. Mm-hmm. But when I get into that sort of analysis paralysis, I either like to go with something that I've already played and I know pretty well, like a pinball or a Masternoid or a rhythm game like Synth Rider's Trombone Champ or Beat Saber. Or I go with something that I know isn't going to take me too long, like a Max Mustard. Mm-hmm. Or maybe like a run of Ancient Dungeon, something like that.
Yeah.
A little roguelike run. Yeah, that's usually where I end up.
Yeah, fair. Is it similar kind of in flat screen? Like, do you have the similar kind of issue, or is it more in VR where you have that paralysis, shall we say, that you have to deal with?
Well, usually flat screen, I know I have more of like, I know I'm about to play this. Like I go in with more intention.
Yeah.
Whereas VR, I'm more go with what I'm feeling.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you've been playing the Tiny Bookshop game for like...
Yeah, I've been selling a lot of books.
15 hours I saw, which was quite impressive considering... didn't you only get it last week? Or maybe the week...
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. It's been a part-time job.
Yeah, fair enough.
Selling books.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I did play the demo of that, by the way. I did enjoy it, but a lot of menus, like you said, a lot of stuff and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to commit to this right now, but I understand the charm of it. But yeah, honestly, this is something that I suffer with. Only time I suffer with VR, like you said, Samson, is more on a feeling. Like VR it can be very intense or it can be very immersive, and depending on the time of day, like the paralysis, shall we say, only happens to me when I am when it's like a weekend, when it's like a Saturday during the day and I'm in VR, then I got loads to play and I'm not sure and I've got energy to play it all. But if I'm playing like after work, after I've been on the computer like all day and such, then I normally just always gravitate to something that I just, like you said, play before, or something that is just more of a quick fix, like a Tiger Blade or Compound or Walkabout or those kind of games. Not like I'm jumping into a big story like Batman and such. But that's more on the VR sense. When it comes to flat screen, what I've been doing recently, because I'm starting to fall into the trap. I'm kind of dipping my toe into the trap, shall we say, when it comes to Steam. Now that I have this...
Yeah, you should not dip your toes into traps.
And I'm dipping it. I see the bear claw in there, and I'm just putting my leg close, but not actually putting it in. And that's the Steam store, basically. And there's so many sales on Steam, and honestly, when the VR headset comes out, it's going to be an equal issue, but it's a great issue to have, where games can be incredibly cheap, right? I actually bought a game the other day. It cost me $5, and it was a fairly new game, but it's just on a sale, and it's like a Portal-like game. I can't remember what it's called. It begins with E. I haven't started playing it yet, but I saw it on a list, and I was like, oh, that looks really cool. And it was on sale for $5, so I thought I'd buy it. That's how they get you. But what
I
I realized is that when I go into a game, so for example, right now I'm playing a lot of Celeste. This is a game that I've never played before, but always had it on my backlog, and I've been playing it for a little bit, and I've just
so hard.
I've been loving it. I've been absolutely loving it. It works so nicely on the Steam Deck, and it looks so beautiful on that OLED screen as well. But I've gone into a bit of a flow state playing it, and when you get into that bit of flow state whilst playing it, try and bottle that up and continue playing that game. And then when you stop playing that game and come the next day and you want to whip up your Steam Deck, go straight to that game again. So I've just been constantly playing Celeste, even though I've got other games that I've been dabbling into in the past. And for this part where we'll talk about playing the Steam Deck on your Quest, I've been trying other games for sure, but I keep, like, if I'm going to play for a long session, keep going into Celeste. Even Hollow Knight.
You getting the strawberries?
I get some of the strawberries, not all of them. Some of them are really, really hard.
Dude, even just not getting them is hard, but yeah, the strawberries are rare.
Some of them are really, really, really hard. And so sometimes I'm like, okay, there's a strawberry here, and I'm committed to getting it. So I'll spend my whole 40 minutes trying to get it, and then I finally get it, or maybe I don't get it at all. You know?
Yeah, pull up a YouTube video.
Right.
Still can't get it.
Can't get it. No, because I feel like that game Celeste, YouTube videos can't really help you too much.
You can know what to do. Yeah, you have to execute.
You got to. It's all about execution. It's all about the physics of timing and all that stuff. So yeah, there's only so much you can get from a YouTube video. But this discipline has been helping me, because Hollow Knight just came out with a really sharp HD kind of patch update for the first game. And it looks beautiful. So I wanted to jump in just to see how it looked like on the OLED screen. It looked fantastic. I played for about 5 minutes, and then I was like, okay, nope, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go back to Celeste and continue. So yeah, that's what I've kind of been like, just focusing on one game. I've been known to buy games and just kind of like dart back and forth, and I'm trying to just focus on one. Maybe not finishing them. Finishing is all of this. Like, it's always a tough thing nowadays when it comes to finishing games, depending on how big and long they are. But try and get like what I want out of it, basically, before moving on. So yeah, just try and get into the flow state of a game and stick to it, is what I would say. But thanks for your question.
Pretty good advice.
Thanks for your question. All right, Sam. So we're talking about flat games. Okay. Obviously, there's a lot of VR games out there. There's a lot to play. But sometimes you really want to play that flat game. You know, maybe you want to play Tiny Bookshop in a giant 150-inch screen, which will probably defeat the point of that type of game. But maybe you want to play something like that. So what we've been doing over the weekend is kind of figuring out how to connect our flat screen devices. We're lucky enough to have many different options. Samson, you obviously have a gaming PC. We both have Steam Decks. We both have PS5s as well. Both don't have Xboxes, right? You don't have an Xbox?
I've got the one. I've got the Xbox One.
One, yeah, not the Series X or anything like that, right?
No.
Fair enough.
I've got Game Pass for the next 27 days.
Yes, exactly. So there's basically a way to do this. There's the streaming way to do this, and also there's the quote-unquote hard way to do this on paper, but it's actually not as hard as you think. So, Samson, I'm going to kick it to you first, because I think on the easiest way is obviously because if you had a gaming PC and you essentially want to just beam it up to your Meta Quest 3, how would you go about it? What have you found over the weekend as you were kind of testing this one out?
Yes. Well, as previously discussed on podcast, I have played Dispatch in big screen. And that's all in the past. I played that through virtual desktop. Mm-hmm. So it was almost like sort of Inception gaming.
Yeah.
I was in virtual desktop on my Quest and then playing big screen and in big screen playing Dispatch. But this week, what did I do? I did some virtual desktop gaming off the bat. So I what you need to do is install Virtual Desktop on your Quest, install it on your PC, and then bing, bam, boom, you boot up Virtual Desktop on your Quest, and you can access your PC right there over the Wi-Fi. It is recommended that you Ethernet your PC in.
Yep.
And this usually works pretty smoothly for me. I did have, they had an update like 2 weeks or a week ago, and then I was having issues when I was trying to play Ancient Dungeon, but ironically, I just booted into Steam Link that time, and it worked perfectly.
Nice.
Steam Link we'll get into a bit later, too. But I digress. I usually play in pass-through, and so when I boot up Virtual Desktop, what I see is my surroundings and then my two monitors. I've got my my vertical monitor, which usually has Discord, and then I've got when I'm doing things on my widescreen in front of me. And so when I game, I usually leaves my Discord window there, and then I've got my gaming window in front of me. I was playing Tiny Bookshop.
Nice.
And I had my controller. I was playing on my desk, my office room, and I had my controller, and it was working pretty well. But then I was like, I should try this in the living room, and my controller the Bluetooth did not go that far. Yeah. So then I started playing with the Quest controllers, just like as a mouse, because you can play like you can play Tiny Bookshop with a mouse, like pretty easily. There were at first I was like, oh wait, do I need the keyboard? But you can do pretty much everything, I think, with the mouse. And that worked pretty well.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you can hook the Bluetooth controller to the headset and then that would still work. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Or if I needed
for all of the other methods that we'll talk about, apart from the streaming, I would say, you can't do that. It won't work like that. Like you have to have it paired to your.
That's what I figured.
So I think to
the device.
Yeah. So the range definitely is a big thing. I think if you have like a PS5 and such, it depends on your controller, but I think the PS5 controller's range is quite far. But yeah, it depends on your. Also, I guess probably depends on your PC as well. If you're like maybe. Connection, your Bluetooth and such. Yeah. So I think it just depends on your hardware, whether or not if you can play it in the living room. But you know, when you went over to the living room and you used your Quest controllers, was the stream okay through Virtual Desktop?
Yeah, the stream was fine. The stream was absolutely fine. And Virtual Desktop has a lot of different environments. I won't go through them all, but there's a good amount. And one that I particularly like this time that I hadn't done before was first class on an airplane.
Oh.
And so you're in like an airplane
cabin.
Secluded cabin. And you've got 3 windows and you're flying over the
That's fun.
You look out, it's like the night sky. And it felt weird.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've flown enough where I was like, wait, I'm not really in this little tiny cabin, right? Like, okay.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get the plane food as well handed to you and all that, right? I guess first class plane food is legit though.
Yeah, they'll give me socks and like pajamas up there, dude.
Yeah, you're absolutely fine. So when it comes to big screen, obviously you use that for dispatch. Are you using big screen just because of the social aspect of it where other people can kind of watch, but in general sense you wouldn't use that? You'd rather use Virtual Desktop if you're just playing on your own? Yeah,
precisely.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's great that it works. So you use that for Virtual Desktop, and then did you use Steam Link for PC as well? Did you use it on there, or did you only use it on the Steam Deck?
No, I didn't. I only used it for the Steam Deck.
Okay, perfect. So that's Virtual Desktop. It sounds like is the best way to kind of beam from your PC, and easiest way, and obviously you can use that with VR games as well. Let's move on to the Steam Deck still on the easy method, and the reason why I want to move on to this one is because this is in the end of the day, it's a gaming PC, so it's very similar. I'm not sure yet. You might be able to get virtual desktop on Linux if you did the desktop mode on there, but you don't need to. You don't need to do all this extra stuff. The Steam Deck is incredibly easy. Essentially, you go into the settings of your Steam Deck, you go to Remote Play, which is a setting in your Steam Deck, and you turn it on, and you can mess around with like the hardware encoding and such. I turned on hardware encoding and HEVC as well, just because that was recommended online. But you can play around with the settings. And then on your Quest 3, you just need to download the Steam Link app, which is free on your Quest device. And that is it. You just need to pin it.
Bing, bam, boom.
You find your Steam Deck, you just press the pin. You still have to use your Steam Deck, or if you want to pair a controller to your Steam Deck, you could do it that way, but you can't just pair a controller to your Quest and do it. The volume, the sounds do come out of the Quest like it does in virtual desktop, and all of these other methods that we'll share as well. Samson, I had a great experience with this, to be honest. Obviously limited to the actual power of the Steam Deck. Like,
what games did you play?
I played Celeste, Mario Kart 8, and Red Dead Redemption 2. I played those 3, and Celeste was actually the one that probably didn't run the best initially, but the only reason why is because in Steam Deck technical sense, for Celeste, I turn my battery power all the way to the bottom for Celeste because it still runs fine, but then I can get more juice out of the Steam Deck, which I didn't notice at first because it was quite laggy, and I was like, you cannot play a game like Celeste like this way. So I cranked it up to the max voltage, which is what it would be on as default, and it worked perfectly fine. Celeste, though, is a game based on the screen size. I actually prefer it in a smaller screen size. A lot of these like kind of indie games, like the Tiny Bookshop, like you mentioned, maybe Tiny Bookshop not so much because that's kind of a PC game, but
it does get like grainy kind of.
Yeah, it's like they're meant for a certain screen size and lower, but not a big screen size. And for a game like Celeste, it actually works perfect on a handheld more than anything. So I actually prefer it that way. But playing Mario Kart 8 worked like a dream. Yes, I would love a slight resolution bump for sure. It looks better on my Steam Deck than it does streaming onto the Quest 3 because it is blown up. But it still looked really good. And so did Red Dead Redemption 2, to be honest. Red Dead Redemption 2 mostly played well over stream as well. But as I'll tell you later on.
How close were you playing to your router?
I'm not got the biggest apartment, but I was the furthest away from the router in my apartment. Because I'm in my den, which is on the furthest side of the room, furthest side of the apartment, and on the other side of the apartment is the router. So at the furthest I could be, but I would say if I was to kind of draw it out, it would probably be like 6 meters away. I would say.
Gotcha.
I would say, so obviously the Steam Deck's on Wi-Fi as well. But yeah, I had a great experience, no problem. To be honest, what about you, Samson? I know you tried it as well, right?
Yeah, I right off the bat it was working pretty well, but after a little bit of time, I noticed some lag to a point where I was playing Tiny Bookshop, obviously, and so the lag really didn't affect me too much. But there are some times where you can pick up books around, like wherever you are around the park. And so you've got to move the cursor and then stop it on that book and then pick it up. And every time I move the cursor, it would go past the book and then past it to the point where I just kind of looked down through like the gap and at the Steam Decks. And so I could move it exactly. And I was like, all right, cool.
Cool. Defeats the point. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I don't know. I imagine it just has so much to do with your Wi-Fi at any given time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
I was playing on the other side of the house, like for this portion. I wasn't close to
the router. Yeah,
I'm at the router. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And it could also be you have the regular Steam Deck, not the OLED. I know there's not too much difference in power there, but there is some slight...
You're trashing my OG Steam Deck?
I'm not trashing your OG Steam Deck. I'm just saying there might be the slight discrepancy there. I'm not too sure. I don't think so. I think most of the time, I think the power is pretty much identical, and it's more to do with the screen, but what it can output with the screen. So I don't think it does matter. I'm not sure if it helped, but with my Steam Deck, I also turned the brightness all the way down to the bottom and such. So, kind of it was doing less on the screen.
I didn't mess with any settings.
But yeah, so either or, the Steam Deck does work. I guess with anything when it comes to the streaming stuff, it really just depends on your Wi-Fi and connection settings.
Yes. I do have one more streaming thing because I did get Game Pass, the cheap one, whatever, it was like $10. I don't know that it gives you access to much, but I own some Xbox games like digitally, so I knew I could access those.
Oh, perfect.
So I got into little Spyro the Dragon, and so right off the bat, you install the Xbox app. I think it's mostly just opens a browser.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yeah, I was able to open the Meta Quest app, the Horizon app on my phone, to log into my Microsoft Xbox account. I don't know how it all worked, but it was very easy and quick. And I was right on my way to playing Spyro. I forgot where I was and what was going on, so I just booped around, and then I played an entire Gears of War level to really put it to the test.
Nice.
And there was one time where there was a lot going on, where I noticed like it got pixelated, a bit laggy, but I actually ended up doing that section a bunch because I kept dying, but not because of the lag, because I'm not very good at it. Yeah, I just hopped right in. And yeah, that was the only instance. Other than that, it was very smooth and worked quite well.
Nice.
I was impressed. This was the best.
Did you have to wait at all?
The most success.
Did you have to?
No waiting time.
No waiting time. Maybe there isn't any waiting time if you're playing your own games. Potentially.
Yeah, that probably more than likely. I don't know though. But yeah, it was pretty good, Dan.
So you can play that on the lowest tier, essentially the $10 tier that you mentioned. Yeah, because I remember I thought back in the day when this first came out, you had to get the ultimate tier for it to work. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn it was like $20 or something at the time. I know the Game Pass
I didn't even know it still had the $10 tier, to be honest, until I went to
because everything went up like extortionately, right? Last time, but so they have the essential tier, the premium, and the ultimate. The essential is 50 games on the Xbox, PC, and supported devices. So obviously the Quest. Stream games and include the games that you already own. You get multiplayer, and that's it. The premium one, which is $15 a month USD. That is 200 plus games. So there's a lot more games. And then with the ultimate one, which is $30, that is 400 plus games. And you get all the new Xbox games day one, as well as the EA classics, Ubisoft classics. There's a lot more, basically, if you really want to go there. There's also a PC only plan, which is around $18, $17 a month. But that's that's not allowing for streaming. That's only for PC, not for Quest. So yeah, you could get the essential one. And if you want to try it out too, the essential, if you've never done it before, it's only $1 for the first month. So you could definitely try it out. And if you want to try like the premium and such, they also have the same.
Just to see how it runs.
They have the same $1, but it's only for 14 days. So yeah, you could definitely try it, see how it runs, see how it works, see if it works well with your internet connection and how you're set up at home. And try it. And you just need to pair you don't have to have an Xbox controller, but you need to just pair a controller to your Quest for it to work. Did you use an Xbox controller or were you using your PlayStation 1? Either one works.
I was using this here Xbox.
You have a nice
controller.
little pink Xbox controller right there. Very good, very good. So yeah, Game Pass is one. There's also other streaming platforms like GeForce Now that a lot of people have good times with, but I've not tried any of those other ones before. But that is another option. one other option to stay in the easy category before we go over to the PS5 and Xbox in the harder category. For anything, you could use a capture card if you really want to. This is not the nicest way to do it, but it's definitely going to be the best way if you want like a seamless experience. So
direct.
You'll need a capture card, ID like 4K, and what you can do is you can run the HDMI signal from any of your device into that, and then you can run your Quest like USB-C into the capture card, and then you can have it load up on the Quest, and it will be the best quality possible because it's using the 4K capture card, although those things can be quite expensive as well, depending on which one you get. So I didn't try that one. Samson, I don't think you tried any of those, right? I don't have one of those, but that is one option. But Samson, I don't want the capture card. I wanted to beam my PS5. This is how it originated. How do I get my PS5? The Steam Deck doesn't really matter. I can play that wherever I want. The PS5 is what I wanted, and this kind of applies to Xbox as well, but it's slightly easier. So when it comes to the PS5, there's no native remote play app. The thing is, it's nice that PS5 has a remote play, like you can do that. Xbox, you can do that. The Switch, you actually can't do any remote play. It's not something that Nintendo offer and probably never will. So the only way to do Switch is to use a capture card. Like that's the only way. Otherwise, it's just not happening. But with the PS5 and the Xbox to a certain extent, these are the steps. Now, I'm going to tell you the steps because they sound quite overwhelming, but then I'll tell you my experience.
Oh, it's intimidating.
Yeah. So, first things first, on your PS5, you need to make sure, and this is, I believe, specific to PS5, not Xbox, you need to have 2 profiles on your account. So, you have your main profile and another one, which is connected to the PlayStation Network, both of them. Most people have this anyway. I have like 4 different ones, I'm not going to lie, for different stores. But you need to have 2 profiles, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Then, with your Quest, you need to, on your PC, you need to have side quest, basically, so you can side load the Android version of the PlayStation app and the PlayStation Remote Play app. You need both of them. They're both the Sony official apps from Android. If you just do a quick Google search for the APK of both those apps, you'll find it really easy. I found it. It was like the second Google. It was a second Google that came up. But the reason why you have to do this is because if you just did the Remote Play app, for some reason you can't sign in. It doesn't really let you sign in for some reason. But if you've got the PlayStation app, it allows you to sign into the PlayStation app. And if you leave that running, it will automatically sign you to the Remote Play app. It's so weird and silly.
Convenient.
But okay, so you get those 2 APKs and you sideload it onto your Quest. Then you basically open it up on your Quest. They'll be under the, what's it called? It's like unknown sources, I think. And what you want to do is open up the PS app first, log in with your PlayStation credentials, either one of your accounts. I would say definitely do it for your secondary account, and I'll tell you why in a moment. It was really easy to sign in because I have the PlayStation app on my phone. A QR code popped up with a little code, and you can go on your PS app and go onto QR code. Obviously, you can't scan a QR code because you're in VR, but you could just put enter code manually, and it's just it's a 4-number code. So you put that in, you're signed in, you're great. Then you go to Remote Play and it signs you in immediately. You're great. Okay, so that's your ready to go on the Quest. On the PlayStation 5, you just go into the settings and you can enable Remote Play, and that's pretty much it. Okay. So then on your Quest, when you go into the Remote Play, you basically pair them just like you would with the Steam Deck. There's like a code that you need to put in, and that's it. Now, in order to use your PlayStation controller, you can't actually connect it to the Quest, and it won't work like that. In order to use a PlayStation controller, you have to, when you turn it on, you have to select the other profile that is the Remote Play. If you select the same profile that you're beaming up to your Quest, it's going to log you out of the Remote Play. It has to be the other one. So that's why you should use a secondary account to beam it to Remote Play. and then use your
And then you're
PlayStation
playing with your
controller to
first.
play with your first account. And the reason for this is because the app thinks you're going to use the on-screen touchscreen controls to play the actual game, but obviously you're not going to do that. I remember having to do this in the past with another device. I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, it was when I used to have a PS Vita and I remote played to my PS4. And in order to use an actual controller, is you had to use that second profile. It was the exact same thing because it will think the PS Vitas are going to be used as the main profile. So that's what you need. And that's it. Then you're in and you can make the screen as big as you want, small as you want.
Streaming.
You can go to immersed. It's streaming. The sound comes through your Quest as well. You can obviously turn the TV off and you can just let the PlayStation run. And
you got to be near your PlayStation because you're using that controller. But other than that, you could play wherever.
Yeah, but the PS5, let me just type in PS5 controller range and I'll find out here. It has a range of 10 meters, 33 feet, and can often work through walls. So you're going to be mostly okay. So that sounds like a lot of steps, and I'll throw the steps in to the Discord just so if anyone's interested they can kind of see, just because there's a lot in the description. It'll be a bit crazy, so join the Discord if you want to see all the steps. But honestly, downloading the APK, sideloading it onto my Quest, logging in, and then getting it streaming, it honestly took me around 5 to 6 minutes max, and now it's there and it's ready to go. It actually wasn't that bad. And once you're...
Oh, you don't even have to... It just auto-logs in there.
Yeah, exactly. Unless I don't use it for like a long time, but it's pretty much auto-logged. And Samson, it played like a dream. I had no input lag whatsoever. The picture quality was great. It worked well. I played... Because I actually got the accounts mixed up, I was limited to the games I could play. So I played Stray, which is the game with the cat. I played WWE 2K24. I played Red Dead Redemption 2 again. And all three games played flawlessly. The picture quality was really good. Like I said, no lag. Red Dead looked considerably better than the Steam Deck version, as expected. Yeah. And the cool thing is when you're streaming stuff, and you would have seen this with the Steam Deck one with the Steam Link, you can make the screen bigger or smaller, but it's going to be in either pass-through mode, which is obviously color pass-through, or in the home environment if you're not in pass-through mode, whatever environment you could do. But you can press there's a button there to make it in immersive mode, and it just becomes a giant curved screen. And you can still make that screen bigger and smaller, and you can make it a flat screen if you want, but then it darkens, it dims everything around you. So you can increase... you can reduce the dimness, increase the dimness if you want to. I put it right down to the bottom, so it was almost black. And it was good.
That's like with the Xbox app I did too.
Yeah. So with the Xbox, if you wanted to do the same thing with the Xbox, it works pretty much the same thing. You just don't need the two profile thing, and also you don't need the Xbox app. The Xbox Remote Play app should just be able to log in. So a little bit easier, but as if you have an Xbox, of course. So Samson, general thoughts, what I've kind of concluded in all of this experimentation. This kind of gave me a glimpse of what it would be like on the Steam frame, albeit they'll run natively, of course, so the resolution should be much better and such, and I could use the touch controllers with it. But in general sense, it just gave me the idea of being able to play your games on a big screen within a VR headset. So things I've concluded is that the dark pass-through is definitely the way to go. Having it as dark as possible, because you want to be immersed in that specific game. Having color pass-through, I actually didn't really like it. It was kind of distracting. So with the black and white pass-through on the Steam frame, I would say it's kind of fine. It's ideal. I preferred the color, but when I went into this experimentation, I actually preferred in dark.
What if it would actually light reflect properly off of the thing, like off your walls and off the floor?
That'd be cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that would really add a lot to that immersion.
Yeah, that'd be cool for sure. Also, if you could just change your environments, which you probably will be able to do on Steam Frame, like you can do in Virtual Desktop. You can't do that with the remote desktop ones. Well, I guess you could if you're in the home environment, but it's a little bit different, right? But yeah, that would be That'll be a big win. Obviously, using the Steam controllers rather than needing to pair the PS5 or use the Steam Deck is a big win. You could just use the controllers with you. You don't have to bring another controller. However, you could if you want to and pair it to your Steam frame. But honestly, Samson, I don't really find myself playing like this long term unless the headset is really comfortable for me to wear. Like the Quest 3 is fine in terms of comfort, but it's way more comfortable to play without a headset on with my TV and with my deck, and I'd much rather play it on there. Like the comfort is the key thing here for me. Like the big screen isn't worth it without the comfort. The only time I would say maybe not so is if this could play my bigger games that I would have on Steam, like Red Dead, because games like Red Dead, what I've noticed, and Halo and such, like although they work well on the Steam Deck, in the end of the day, those games are worth it on the bigger screen. They don't play as well when you're playing on a small screen, unlike indie titles. So having those bigger screen moments when you're traveling or like on the airplane and such to play those games would be wicked. But in the end of the day, that if I'm going to play at home mostly, comfort is the key for me. So it depends how comfortable it is.
You've also got those OLED screens, Dan, that you miss out on when you're playing them on the Quest.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, it can be great. Like obviously if you're lying on a couch or traveling, but to be quite honest, this kind of turned me off of getting the Steam frame for this feature alone. I don't mind, like I said, see myself playing it in this mode often at all, but it's a nice experiment. And I would say to everyone listening to this, if you have another device, because not all of us have like more than one device, but if you have like a PS5 or a PC or something like that, go try and play some flat screen games in the Quest 3 and see what it's like, especially if you're interested in the Steam frame, especially for the feature. It sounds fun that you're going to play your games in these big screens within the Steam frame as well as having your VR. Definitely.
Native is going to be way different, though.
Native is going to be way different. Yeah, of course it is. But it sometimes just comes down to comfort, you know.
Dan, that is to say, we didn't mention one, and that's Citra VR.
Yeah.
And Citra does work decent.
Emulation.
It is emulation, and it is not always super smooth. But some things do work.
Yeah, so Citra VR is the 3DS one, right? And you get the 3D effect as well. And I haven't tried it for a while because when I tried it, it didn't work properly for me. But it's been a while since it came out now, so maybe it will properly work.
I got to get back into that Pikachu
detective one, yeah, exactly. But then that's another thing with the Steam frame is that you'll be able to have all of the emulation areas. You know, like I play a lot of the Wii U games, which play excellently on the Steam Deck, and you'll be able to do that on the Steam frame. So there are way more benefits, of course, but this is just like a bit of an insight of that key feature on Quest. So yeah, any thoughts from you, Sam? So is this, would you play flat screen in this at all in the Quest, or is this something that maybe
I feel like I'd be more inclined to use it in the frame where it's native, where I'd be like taking my headset to go, and I'd just be taking it like in lieu of my Steam Deck, kind of like in the car rides or whatever, and then it would just give me the option of playing VR or my flat games as opposed to one or the other.
That's right.
I do feel like when I'm on my deck, it's because I'm on the couch hanging out with other people around, like the kids watching TV, girlfriend's doing something, in her corner or whatever, or I'm in the car, like at work, in between, passing time. Yeah, and here and there, I'll plug it into the dock on the TV in the bedroom, and I'll play at night or something like this. And so that's really where I play the deck, and VR doesn't really come into any of that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I could play my PlayStation 5 not like in the same house, that would be a little bit of a game changer, I'd say. But the fact that you have to use it in the same place, like my PS5's hooked up to the best TV, in the house. It's
you don't need the VR
looks fresh, yeah.
I mean, that's another pro with the Steam frame is that it's because you'll be able to just use those controllers. You could technically, with remote play wherever you are. Like I've used my PS Portal outside the house, and the streaming sometimes
it does work now. Yeah,
it does work really well in certain places. So if you were really wanting that streaming, but yeah, like you said, the native is going to be a big thing. Yeah,
that was like in an update. It didn't always do that.
Yeah, that's true.
But I will say the Xbox One, that is, I feel like a pretty good option if you don't have an Xbox or don't want to spend the money to get an Xbox. Like, yeah, if you want to try some Xbox games, getting game like somebody like Pow or something who doesn't have a PC, who might not have a console. Let's say he wants to try some console games for a month. Sign up for $30, play what you want to play, and then cancel.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really good insights here. So, excellent. So, if you obviously enjoyed that segment, let us know in the comments and let us know if you try this out as well. That will do for part 1 of the show. In part 2, we'll just be talking about what we've been playing and anything else. So, we'll see you in part 2.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to part 2 of LTO 226. We spent a lot of time talking about flat games and how to get them working in VR, but let's talk about the actual VR games. Quick side note here, Samson, there is a short big month sale on a Meta store so far. It ends on February 22nd, so if you're listening to this after that, it is over, but it's at 22nd at midnight. But I looked at the sale. I didn't pick anything up myself, but there's almost 50% off like big games like Walking Dead, Assassin's Creed. Hubris is like $8 or so.
Pretty good deal. It's a good game.
Yeah, Walking Dead's
was
like
Medal of Honor
$10. There? No. That game actually doesn't go on sale often, to be quite honest with you. And it makes no sense why.
Shame.
But it doesn't go on sale often. But did you pick anything up, anything fresh up or not?
No. I have not bought a new game since Aces of Thunder, which I haven't spent enough time in because I also got Tiny Bookshop because that went on Steam sale, Dan, and that's where most of my time that hasn't been what I'm about to talk about.
Yeah, well, tell us what have you been playing this week?
Well, Dan, I saw that Trombone Champ had a little update. And unfortunately, the update did not work on my Quest. Mm-hmm. So, but I still want, at that point, I wanted to play Trombone Champ. So I played on the PlayStation. And really what the update is, I think it might work now. I haven't gone back in, but the update was supposed to be a Valentine's arena. Yeah. What do you call them? Place or whatever.
Arena. No, now
Theater.
I've lost it.
Theater. So, Dan, I got into the Celeste DLC. So, funny enough, you were playing to Celeste, and I was playing Celeste too. But, in my own way.
Yeah.
And my God, it gets challenging. And my God, the leaderboards were barren on PlayStation. But then I started playing. I played like the first 4 songs. And I had played probably the first 4 songs worth of Celeste, maybe. And so I sort of recognized them. I was like, oh yeah, like I'm feeling this.
Fun.
But it's a good one. I recommend it if you are into. It's not as hard as the other DLC, the Undertale one. Mm-hmm. At least not yet. But I enjoy it. It feels. It's a good soundtrack.
Yeah, Celeste has a good music, and you can. Another secret of Celeste, not just the strawberries, but you find the tapes, basically, like the B-side mixtapes and such, which I have only found a handful, to be honest. They're actually quite difficult unless you know where you're going. But I actually didn't know that Trombone Trump had the Celeste DLC, so it's kind of fitting that I've been playing that constantly for the last 2 weeks as well. So very cool. very cool.
Should I go on, or do you want to talk about something?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you both of my games that I played because I've talked about them so many times on the show. There. Yeah, I've just been playing a lot of, not let's say a lot of, but every time I've jumped in VR this week, it's Tiger Blade and Compound. To be honest, both of those games. Tiger Blade, you probably heard me talk about this on the show before, but if you haven't, it's essentially a kind of arcade shooter style with a samurai sword. Think of Time Crisis, a game like that, or Dead Second on the Quest and such, where essentially you are this ninja character, I would say, who has a samurai sword, but also if you hold the grip button, it turns into a gun, like a pistol, with unlimited ammo as well. And on your left hand, there is some sort of samurai blade thing, which I can't even begin to describe what that is. But essentially, when you go through the levels, you have different types of characters. You have a samurai that can come at you. But the cool thing is that when you're fighting like a samurai or fighting someone who's basically shooting at you, you have to use that weapon. So if a samurai is right next to you about to swing their sword at you, you can only use your samurai sword. If you try and shoot them, nothing happens. So the bullets don't work, which is cool, so you
because match them.
As you're going through the levels, you have to match them and things get fast paced. And it gets really quick because you use the samurai sword every time you chop something. So like if you chop basically like a door down or I don't know, like a box or something, you advance forward in the level. It's actually pretty cool how you do it. But because of that, you can get through the level really quickly or get through environments really quickly. But then enemies are coming at you at different places, like in front of you, to the side of you, left, right. It does recommend that you have like a full 2 meters by 2 meters, and I can see why.
Because you gotta move.
Yeah, I can see why if you're close to like a bookshelf or such, it's quite easy to hit something. Not Gorn style, not that bad, but like you could do that. But I actually found it fine. As long as you're aware of your surroundings, it's okay. Soundtrack's good. They have fun boss battles as well. Very creative boss battles. Feels like boss battles back in like the 90s or early 2000s in kind of arcade games. And you can like deflect different bullets with your samurai sword, and then sometimes you can pick up items, like you can pick up like a trash can lid or something like that and use it as a shield for a certain amount of bullet damage as well. And each one of these characters has a number above them, and that's the number of shots that they need to die basically. So some of them have like 5 or 3 or whatever, and
you gotta like slice them 5 times.
Yeah, and such. Some of the different samurais, some have a lot of armor on and all that stuff. You have to kind of deflect as well. But yeah, it's really fun. Art style is beautiful. I've been playing this actually with the Quest Games optimizer. You don't really need it, to be quite honest with you. It already looks beautiful, but that extra pop is actually really nice. You may as well if you have it, right? So yeah, that's Tiger Blade. I've been really, really enjoying going back into that. That's like my quick going to VR for like 10 minutes kind of fix kind of thing. I could play it, spend 10 minutes in that game and get what I need. I could spend half an hour in that game, get what I need. Any more than that, and I feel a bit tired because it is very quick, fast paced.
Well, you've gotten what you need.
Yeah, and then just a quick note on Compound. Compound's like a Doom style roguelike, shall we say, like old Doom and Wolfenstein with the kind of pixel graphics and such. And that, because it's like procedurally generated in terms of like where the characters are in the level and the rooms, sometimes you get slapped with a bad room. Like I was playing, and just in the first level, I go into a room and there's like 6 or 8 guards around me in different areas, and I'm like, what on earth? And then sometimes you play like this and there's like 1 guard per room and such you have to clear out. So it just really depends. But I really enjoy the guns. The submachine gun is really satisfying. Like to reload it, you press, I think it's the A button to like pop the magazine out, and then using your other hand, you hold the trigger, and then the new magazine comes up onto your hand. You pop it on, and then you press the A button again on the gun controller, and it just goes ping, and then whatever like things that are supporting the magazine jump off, and then you can use the gun and such, and it's very fun. It's very satisfying.
It's super tactile, yeah.
Yeah, they have the shotgun as well, where you could like flick it up with your wrist to close it rather than having to actually close it and such. My favorite weapon actually is the shotgun, because you dual wield a lot in this game. You just want to dual wield because you can, and to have like the standard pistol that doesn't run out of bullets. It does have like a cooling off period, but the shotgun as the other one is very nice to go back and forth, to be honest, when you need it. But yeah, I love both of these games. These are like two really solid games that, like, if I was to get another VR headset, like if I was to get a Steam frame, these would probably be one of the first two games that I buy, because I love them so much. They were easy ones to quickly go back into at any time. So that's Tiger Blade and Compound. Back to you, Samson.
There you have it. Dan, I got into some Forefront, which, quick little news update, they're going to have a price increase, I believe, at the end of the month. So if you were debating Forefront, hop in before that price increase. I think my gut tells me they're slowly increasing to $30, but right now it is $23 or $24.
23.
And so could be going up to like a 27 or 28, and then another price increase at the end. That's just what my gut tells me. But
I can see that being. I think Forefront, once it hits its stride of it being out of early access, could easily be a $40 game. To be honest,
I hope not. You want so many people and so many servers at $40 is like a bit steep for an entry price, especially for a game that I know that they're considering cosmetic purchases. So once you get those going, I don't.
So it'll be capping at 30 and then just do maps and all that stuff, right? To add with DLC and all that stuff. So.
Well, none of their Breachers doesn't have like map DLCs. They just got all the things are cosmetics.
That's fair.
That's what I think they'll do.
I
do think they'll keep adding maps because it does need them. But right now, it's changed to a voting. So after a round, you have a vote for the next one.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, not many people seem to like to do Rush. Damn. So I've been doing a lot of the Conquest. I do like the tunnels map. There's a lot of people who don't like the tunnels map, Dan. I kind of like it. And one reason I kind of liked it is I have a lot of fun. There's a lot of little nooks and crannies. You can kind of sneak your way into the enemy territory. And then me and my squad, one of us was recon, so you could set a spawn point, like a spawn point generator, if you will. So we had a spawn point basically in their zone, and dude, we just took it over, and then it was our zone, and we completely flipped the game, and our team won. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and man, Forefront, great game. So I've been practicing a lot more recon, which is a sniper, and it comes in handy a lot on the Conquest maps where you just set up shop pretty far away, get yourself a nice little nook, and just start sniping enemies from 150 to 250 meters away.
Nice. It's so satisfying. Yeah, so sad. I'm always bad at a recon class in any of these type of games.
Either.
No. I might have the one game where I'm like, I'm in the zone. I can use it all the time, and then most of the time it's no. Tough weapon. Can you fly the helicopter and such? Are you good at that?
I've never done it. I'm too scared. I'm not a flyer. I know my lane, and I stay in it, and it is on the ground. I do get into helicopters as a passenger.
But, I'm definitely a passenger when it comes to these things as well. Yeah. All right.
But two kind of funny moments from Forefront. One, I was running around with a sniper rifle, and I ran into somebody who was right next to me, so I had to whip out my pistol, killed him, and I just hear him say, of course I get killed with a pistol. Or something like this. He was just like so let down.
Bless him.
Let down in himself that he had died by the pistol. And then another actually right at the start of the tunnels map, my partner's daughter came down to say goodnight. So I said, can I get a hug goodnight? And I was still in VR, so she came over and gave me the hug goodnight. But somebody on my team came over, heard me say, can I get a hug tonight? Came over to me, gave me a hug in VR, and then just went on. And it was just like such a funny presence moment, and only in VR moment.
Only in VR, for sure. Only in VR. That's the kind of moments that you want captured on a stream, just because they're like really funny clips.
I did see VR Central was in the round, but he was not streaming it at the time.
Fair enough. Very fun.
Yeah, it was a good one. Then got into some Ancient Dungeon, Dan, the roguelike, where you go through various dungeons. And Dan, me, Squashy, and two others, Jocko and Aido, I believe, we were trying to do a no relic run. And so we were getting no upgrades other than food. You can eat food. And we did it. We failed the first run, but the second run we did it.
Nice.
However, Steam did not record my achievement. So, but it did record
there's an achievement
Squashy's.
for it.
So it's proof. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Dude, it was hard. It's basically pretty normal and standard getting through everything until the final boss. And then they now scale the bosses up with the number of people you're playing. So the final boss, when you're dealing base damage, is gruesome, tiresome. It's tough.
I'm impressed. Yeah. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the bosses, because what's that one boss that's like, I can't remember what the boss is, but you're just in this one little arena and he keeps appearing. He kind of disappears and then appears in a different spot. Disappear like
almost all of
okay,
is it
I think it's
one
the
that's
second
some
one.
books?
Yeah. The book
it's
one.
Fun. Yeah. That one's a tough
that one must be really tough, because there's no, if you're not really gained anything during that run and such, that must be really tough to kind of get through.
The thing is that some of the updates now allow you to go in with some base level upgrades, so that can help. Like one of the weapons, you can do more damage against bosses.
Which weapon are you using often now?
I use only crossbow right now.
You always use a crossbow. Okay, fair.
Yeah,
very handy. Very handy.
And yeah, then I got into pivot again to the next game. I got into some Dispatch in big screen.
Some flat screen gaming into VR.
And we had a whole crew, Dan. We had Kai came down, TPZ, nice. Bits, Hack, and Void. I think that might have been it. And we were making decisions. Some of them were good, some of them funny, for sure. In fact, TP was like, "Oh, this is kind of good." Oh, I don't think I could play this with my kids.
No. I actually heard, because I've not played this game at all, and I actually never heard of it until you mentioned it, and then I've seen how like well it's been doing, and I really enjoyed like some of the Telltale games back in the day. So I'm really interested in this one.
I think The Walking Dead, the definitive Telltale, is on sale, and I was going to pick that up after really enjoying
the first season's excellent, to be honest. The second one, not so much, but the first one really is. But I am waiting for a sale on this one just to get it in Steam Deck, and also because I've got other games to play. I was like, I'll play this one day. But actually might be a really good... I'm traveling soon in a month's time, so maybe that'd be a good one. Anyway, yeah,
I'll see you soon in about a month's time.
Yeah, that's why I'm traveling to, and a wedding before that. But I will. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I saw the stuff on Switch, the controversy, because it's coming to Switch, but they've gotten rid of all of like the. They've basically censored it, basically, galore, and it's not like an option where you can turn it back on or anything like that. But I think they set not just nudity. I think they censored the like swear words as well. And such. Like, they've censored pretty much all of it. Now, I was listening to a gaming podcast, not VR, and they were saying how sometimes when you turn off, because you can, on the regular Dispatch, like on the one that you have, you can censor it too. But sometimes, because when you censor it, they don't just like bleep everything out. They kind of do something hilarious instead of the swear or the nudity or any of that stuff. It's actually quite funny to play with the censorship on as well. So worth definitely
that a whirl.
Worth trying it on just to see what it's like. But I've heard it's quite funny the way they've approached that too. So yeah, but yeah, no option to change that on Switch. But yeah, I heard it could be raunchy.
Yeah, it's a bit raunchy, but great time, good time. And there's I think 8 chapters, so we've got at least 2 more big screen sessions because we seem to be able to knock out 2 in a given night. And Dan, last but not least, didn't mean to bury the lead here because I got back into my PlayStation VR 2. So last week we talked about going to an ARC, or I talked about it. You listened. And I stayed with my buddy Selly, and he and his dad are really into GT7. And so I brought my PlayStation VR there, and he played a little bit of GT7 on in VR at his house. And off the bat, I didn't want to set up eye tracking, so he did a race with no eye tracking. And then I looked it up, and I was like, yeah, it will be better, I think. So I had him set it up, and he did a back-to-back race, like no eye tracking with eye tracking. He was like, wow, this is way better. And then he did a few more races, and he had played it before, but he loves GT7 and he loves it in VR. I think eventually he's going to get one. I do think so.
It's if you love
he does
GT7,
love his Quest.
If you love GT7,
yeah, that's the thing.
It's such a perfect game for VR. Yeah, even when I'm not a Gran Turismo person at all, but when I had the PSVR, when I had it with it, I was like, oh, this is actually wicked. When you're actually in the race and such, because also the graphics look so good as well. They really, really do look really good in PSVR 2. And I know you've got the Pro, so it'll look even better.
Well, yeah. So Dan, then when I got home, I was like, oh, he flipped that switch in me. And I've been getting in a lot more GT7, and the Pro just gets rid of all the like effects you would see like on the other cars. The what's it called when you see things twice, kind of like the reprojection.
Yeah,
that's all gone, and it's incredible. Like on the dirt one where you see the dirt kicking up and shit's like hitting you in the rain. You hear beep 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 beep, like it sounds like there's rain. And I've got the headphones on, so there's like I was literally so immersed that I tried to lean forward in my seat to get a better angle on my mirror, and I was like, oh, the mirrors don't work like that.
Yeah,
because somebody was legitimately in my blind spot, so I was like trying to figure out where they were.
Yeah, but the mirrors are kind of fixed to whatever they're showing, right? So
it is so well. The rear view, I think, is a little bit, but yeah, the side ones definitely don't.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, Gran Turismo 7. What a incredible experience!
Amazing. Yeah, amazing stuff. That's everything.
I'm going to get back in after this.
I love that. Dinner first, and then
I ate before. We got Quake night tonight, though.
Clever, very clever. I did not do the same. Samson, that is it to talk about in today's show. Kind of more of a short but sweet show. Not much happening in the VR world itself. Not many games coming out at the moment. I guess we're all kind of highly anticipating the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which will be out at some point in the next couple months, probably, depending on whatever the release date is. But yeah, that is everything for the show. Like I said, throughout the show, if you want to comment, use Spotify, use Discord and the episode discussion, use YouTube comments, and we will read some of them out. Some of them. A lot of people are commenting now, which is always great, but keep on coming with those comments. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I have, Samson. I have been Dan. He has been Samson. Yeah.
I feel like I wanted to ask people for comments. Like there was something I thought of earlier. I was like, oh, I should ask the listeners this. I've completely forgotten it. So yeah. I've been Samson. That's Samson for you.
And we'll see you next week. See you later.